Hello. Today we bring to you a short story called Weaving Communities, celebrating the magic of group work. This story is part of Apni Shala's Practice Inform resources. To know more about Apni Shala, please visit the links given.
We wrote this book with hope in our hearts to inform educators of practices so that collectively we can facilitate effective group work. The practices in the book are centered around the values of equity and compassion so that each student in your classroom finds their voice and feels seen. Our invitation also to you is that you experiment with these ideas in your classroom and you have fun as you are experimenting.
As educators, all of us are aware of immense possibilities which group works brings for us and our classrooms. The chance to learn from our peers, solve problems collaboratively, experience leadership, to strengthen our interpersonal skills, and to find joy in contributing. Learning to work in groups is a skill, a beautiful yet complex skill.
For us, like many individuals, learning to work in groups was messy and tricky, mostly because it felt like we didn't belong there, didn't have a voice, and it felt forced. On so many days, this echoed in our classrooms as well. With the help of our very own Apni Shala community over the last few months, we have tried different ideas to make collaborative work meaningful.
This book is our little attempt to document such practices, to extend this experience, and to weave a community together. Now, let's dive into the story.
Our tale is as old as time, a tale of working together as groups. Young people with distinctive patterns, colors, and textures, quite comfortable in their ways of being, when suddenly have to mesh with various identities, some may say this process is quite similar to weaving a quilt.
A facilitator in the classroom is like a patchwork weaver, weaving together and celebrating varied identities while preserving their individuality. For us, this celebration looks like students beginning to highlight each other's strengths, supporting their vulnerabilities, and creating a whole new synergy that is unique to each group. Week after week, different ways and attempts were made by the facilitators to create groups where members were assigned randomly. We were carrying big hopes in our hearts. Our hope to create opportunities. So, together we can take the journey of learning to work with different people and perspectives. Come, walk with us as we narrate and remember our ideas of grouping.
Friends, stand in a line as per your birth month. January starting from right and December to the left. Now, as per the first letter of your name, distance of your house from the school, how much spicy food you can eat, your height. Here, the facilitator creates groups on the basis of how people are standing in the line.
Walk, make groups of two. Walk, walk, make groups of three. Walk, walk, make groups of four. Settle down. A version of this is also playing Fire in the Mountain. Pro tip, gently remind them to keep each other safe as they run. It is also important that they find partners who are next to them in the circle.
Another version of walk and stop creates a different experience for learners with movement and expression. Walk. Now walk like you are on hot lava. Make groups of three. Walk. Now walk like you are on clouds. Make groups of two. Walk. Now walk like you are on thin ice. Make groups of four.
Friends, we will all come together if our chits have same number, same color, same locality. The chits here will be of the same number as required for the activity.
Today we are going to use some maths to create groups. One chit will have an equation like 90 plus 1 and another the answer to that equation 91. We are going to create pairs by finding each other. The idea here would be to use equations which are simple yet engaging for students to interact with.
Friends, today we need groups of 4 people each. We are going to start by saying 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back to 1. All the 1s, 2s, and 3s come together. With all the ideas, there were still many ifs and buts, some not so happy faces, and dialogues of what needed to improve.
Didi, I don't like working with boys.
Bhaiya, I'm not getting a chance to talk in my group.
Didi, they are not my friends. I will not talk to them.
Bhaiya, she doesn't read as fast as I do.
Didi, I'm not getting anything to do. She's only doing everything. With these reflections from our students, we knew something needed to improve. We sat with these thoughts.
Should we read the book Magic of Facilitation?
Should we seek feedback from the community?
Should we take support from the class teacher?
What can be some of the ways to make the grouping process more fun for the students? While we were wondering
Thinking,
and reflecting,
an aha moment visits us one afternoon. A moment which feels like finding magic beans.
the moment whispers to us the groups need to become a community. These individual patchworks need to come together and be woven together with threads of trust, equity, and compassion.
And with this renewed understanding, we began to look for practices used by our fellow weavers to create opportunities and to journey from groups to communities.
In our grade one of our community weavers encourages students to find a name, symbol, or color which they all like and feel belong to. She will ask, intentionally looking at the students, is there a name of your group which I can call you by? Something which everyone likes. With this, each one is sewed together with a common sense of identity. Grade 5 students are gently asked, look at each other, give your team members a big smile. You're going to spend some time with them. Get to know how they're feeling. A warm up routine like this can help group members look at each other more humanely. It can begin with a smile, emotional check in, naming what support they might need from each other, or playing a game.
When you walk to a grade 3 and 4 classroom, you will see that each student in their groups have roles and responsibility which they call their own. Someone is a writer, a material manager, timekeeper, presenter, and encourager. Each student is invited to think how they will support their group today. And in that moment, you witness them sharing their strengths, interests, and choices, negotiating and listening to each other. In our grades 7 and 8, one can witness the facilitator giving kind reminders to the students to step in and step back, to share and to also listen. With younger students in grade 2 and 3, we also make this possible by asking students to fold their legs when they have taken a turn, to keep a crayon or ice cream stick in a bowl in between. As this unfolds, the muscle of making responsible decisions also gets strengthened.
Now imagine a circle of equitable voices where each participant feels heard. They are witnessing each other's perspective, sharing their experiences, and bringing themselves in the conversation. Such is what a practice of serial testimony looks like, a protocol highly recommended in Apni Shala classrooms. Our grade 9 and 10 students can be seen as befriending this idea to create a space where each learner's lived experience is invited. A student volunteers to begin the circle and gives a direction in which stories will be shared. Each student gets the same time to share their lived experience.
A pause to reflect. A pause for students to check in with each other after they have triumphed the task. In our grade 6 classroom, you will often witness students asking each other what went well during the activity and expressing their gratitude for actions they took to support each other that day. Oh, the twinkle in their eyes and broad smiles on their face tells us the joy which visits them when their contributions are acknowledged and appreciated.
They say it takes a village to raise a child. With educators from our team and partner schools as our constant companions, we are able to weave student communities even beyond the classrooms. In our coach school, community lunches are a regular sight. With our partner schools and organizations, we often dialogue with class teachers about grouping techniques which they can use in their classrooms. And our curriculum team also makes this possible with activities like caring buddies to nurture empathy in relationships. A little insight into what our students are thinking and feeling about these practices.
Today, I also got a chance to share my idea with the group.
Serial testimony should happen in all classes. Everyone gets an equal opportunity to talk.
Didi, when the whole group finished our task on time today, I felt I had kept a good track of time for my group. It felt amazing.
Today, we all thanked each other, which felt so good. We had never done this before. We should do this in every class.
Didi, today my group members told me that I did a great job at listening to them.
Did you notice?
Did you notice?
Did you notice our quilt coming together? We hope you did.
This moment is a beginning for us, a beginning of celebration as our young people are learning to become interdependent, holding space for distinctive identities, perspectives, and making the idea of community come alive.
With this, we leave with a question for ourselves. How do we continue to create communities in our classrooms? We would like to thank our students for being courageous at every step of the way and telling us how group work can be made more fun and inclusive.
We would also like to thank the entire Apni Shala community for all their support and feedback. A story by Heta and Manasvi. Thank you.